Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is The Witness. You can call me by that name. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history about how Seriez was created. It all started in 2016 when I was in high school. And when I was in class, I used to come up with these ideas, write them down on a notebook. And one time, something came to me. I thought, if I could come up with an idea on how to help the blind walk without aid, I think I would have really made a difference. So I started working on it. I started drawing designs, how they're going to be functioning, the vibrations and everything. And that's how it all started, from a simple idea on how to come up with ways to help the blind walk without assistance. So jumping back to 2017, after I finished high school, I cleared high school in 2016. I still had that idea and it was really growing. So what happened is that while I was waiting to go to campus, because I had finished high school in 2017 December, I was waiting to go to campus in September 2017. So I thought maybe I should find something to do while I'm waiting for that. So I went to stay with my uncle. He was living far from where I used from my home. So I went to visit him, and when I got there, I was expecting to get a job from him. So he hooked me up with a job for selling liquid soap. And it wasn't really bad, it was very nice. Things were going very well. So I started selling this liquid soap with him. He taught me how to do it, the sales and marketing. And while we were selling this soap, we were selling it mainly to supermarkets and wholesales and other kinds of shops. While we were selling it, I just got an idea. What if we could take these soaps to schools? And I tried to pitch the idea to him. He wasn't very excited as I was. So I said, maybe it's better if I go and prove the concept first. Then I can come and tell him I visited one or two schools and they like it. So I went to visit some few schools, and the idea was we sell them soap, and then in return we fund their best performing students to go to university, because we're dealing with high schools. So I went to the first high school, pitched my idea. The teachers liked it. They told us we want some kind of formal agreement. We want somewhere to sign. We want to see your program in the internet. You don't have a Facebook account. You don't have an Instagram account. They want to see more of us first before they start committing to buying our products. And so I went back to my uncle and told him the schools have liked the products and they've liked the idea on how we're going to sell them soap and sponsor the best performing students. But still, he wasn't really into that idea. So I tried to push him for like 3 weeks, but we weren't really going on the same pace. So I decided to go back home and start my own soap company and use that idea for myself, because I felt like we were not going at the same pace. So I came back home, put down some documentations, and then I went back to those high schools in my hometown. And I visited like 10 of them, and all of them were very positive. They said they liked the idea. We want to see more of the company. We want to hear about you. We want to see you on TV here, on radio. We want to see some kind of progress, so that when we start committing our students to this program, we were sure that you're going to what is the word? You're going to do what you say. So that was in 2017, maybe March. So once I visited the 10 high schools and I felt that the review was very nice and they were very committed, I came back, started creating my own soap, started selling it in 1 or 2 places. But while I was doing that, I was also working on the project. And the project actually developed. And it developed to a very different kind of way. While I was still working on it, it grew to not sponsoring the students and selling the soap to the schools, to selling the soap to the schools. And then when the students finish high school, we are going to sponsor those who did not qualify to go to university. We're going to give them funding to start a business. So that was the idea, to go to the school, tell them, if you buy our soap, those students who finished high school and not managed to go to university, maybe because of school fees or poor performance, we're going to fund them to start a business. They can come in a group, pitch the idea, if we like it, we're going to give them the money. So that idea developed from funding the top performing students to funding students who finish high school and don't get a chance to go to university to open a business. And I went back to these high schools and pitched that idea. I told them, if you buy our soap at this amount, in this quantity, every month, if your students, the students who don't get a chance to go to university, we're going to give them a chance to start a business. We're going to fund them, they start a business, they're going to give us a share of the company, and then they're going to give the school a share of the company so they can get something back. And the idea was very nice. The teachers liked it and they said, that's a very good idea, bring it to our school. And I was very excited. And then still during the end of, before the end of 2017, I was still selling the soap, but I didn't really have the kind of resources to start such a thing, even though it was a very good idea and people wanted it. I didn't really have the resources, so I decided, let me just settle down and see if this idea will progress to something that I can afford to do. And so, in the beginning of 2018, the idea blossomed, and it moved from selling soap to sponsor students to university, to selling soap to sponsor students to start a business, to not even selling the soap, and it became an application. And it became an application because I started thinking, what is it that we can sell to these students to make money? Because it was all about money, but at the same time it was all about helping society. There was always something about me and ideas, and the way my ideas used to just go back to helping people. So it developed into an app, and the app main function was an app whereby students could come and work on ideas and projects, whereby if a company wants an idea to their project to be developed, rather than them spending a lot of time doing experiments and doing testing, they can give the ideas to high school students and university students to work on them, and then they give them a qualification. We want you to develop this laptop to a certain level, and then when they develop it, these companies pays these students. So develop into that app. And I went back to the high schools again, the third time, to pitch that idea, whereby we approach companies who have products. We tell them, we would like to help you develop your products faster by giving your products to high school students and university students. Then you give them responsibilities on how to develop your product. Maybe you have future plans of developing a phone into a whatever kind of phone, maybe a 5D phone. Give the students, let them think about the ideas. Then they give it back to you. You test the ideas. If you like it, if they work, you pay the student that comes up with the idea. And so I went back to school and told the principals, we have an idea, and the idea is to help your students have something to do when they're at home. They can come back to the app, find an idea they would like to work on it. If they find the solution, they can post it back to the company that requested for the development of the product, and they'll make something small. And the teachers liked it, and they said it's a good thing. And I thought to myself, this is a very good idea. I should now go and pitch it. This is something that I can work with, but I don't have any kind of experience in creating apps and websites. So I thought, maybe let me go and try to pitch it to other schools. Let me go and try to pitch it to other companies, app companies, to see if they are interested, and if we can merge their app with my app. If they can create my app for me, we can merge with them, and I could help them get the users, because the schools want the project, and I could help them get the users from the students. So I went to the main city, found some few app companies, approached them. I told them I have a very nice marketing strategy whereby schools have accepted me to come and present my program to their students, because it is actually something that involves helping the students. And then once once you create my app for me, I'll go to these schools, get you users, then you guys can merge with my app, like the way Facebook merges, whereby Instagram is inside Facebook. So your company will be inside my company. Then when kids are just bored and scrolling through the app, they can find your app, click on it, and explore other options. And the app companies didn't really like my idea. I tried to pitch to a few of them. They didn't really like it, so I came back home. And I sat down and thought harder on how I could come up with something that is viable, that is sellable. So I came up with another idea. Now the app developed into another app. I thought to myself, I was facing so many challenges trying to sell my idea. How many people out there are just like me, struggling to sell just an idea or just a project? The idea is very nice, they have tested it, it has worked, because you'll find that there are very many big companies who have a lot of money, but they can't sell anything. And then there are people who just have an idea, they have tested it, and it works. So you see the difference between a big company who can sell anything and just a guy who has an idea which can sell a lot. So I was in that level, and I thought, how many people are just like me who have very big ideas, but nobody is willing to listen? What can we do? Because these ideas are so important, because my project was once an idea, and their product was once an idea. But why is it that people don't really appreciate ideas? How can we make people appreciate ideas more? If we could nurture ideas rather than nurturing products, whereby an investor, when you meet an investor, they ask for your idea, not your product. They don't ask you, where is the product? They ask you, what is your idea? How far could we go? And I thought about the number of ideas I have in a day. Why is it that I have so many ideas in a day, but there's no way I take them? So I thought maybe I should come up with a way whereby people just like me who have big ideas and have tested them and they are very nice, but they don't have the resources to make them a product. What can we do for such people? How many people are there like us? And I realized there are millions and millions of people, because I went and checked for funding events, and I found out that a lot of people apply for a funding event. Maybe you find investors are holding a funding event and they want companies to present their applications. You find that 100,000 people present the application, but only 1,000 qualify. What happens to the 99,000 people who actually had some kind of ideas? So I decided to create an app that could speak for all those kinds of people, whereby you don't need to come up with an app with 1 million users so that you can get funding. Probably you can just come up with an idea, just an idea. You don't even have to write it down, just an idea, and you can sell it for that same $1 million. So that's why I created the app. Its first name was Seriez, Job Creation. The first name I gave this app was JCP, the Job Creation Program, but it graduated to Seriez because I realized in this app there are going to be a lot of continuation of events. So I just said maybe I should call it Seriez, because this app is continuous, so developed in so many ways. The best name to give is Seriez. So that's the history about Seriez. That's how it started. It started as a soap project whereby you give soap to schools. Then you sponsor their students, and it became an app that speaks for anyone who has an idea, a project, and a product. So watch the next video to find out what happens next.